everybody. Today I'm going to do a little painting work for you. I've been doing more watercolors and drawing, although obviously watercolors painting, but I've been doing started some oil paintings on pre-prime masonite panels, and these things are great. So these are masonite panels. They call them gesso boards. That's the brand, and these are you can get two different quality levels. One is what they call museum quality, whatever. And these are the museum quality, and more of a student grade I can't remember what it's called, but it's the cheaper one. So I go for the more expensive one. I just really love the surface of these things. And I'm going to kind of do a demo for you with on this gesso board. I've started a couple different ones. Anyway, first thing I'm going to do is get my paint ready here. I decided I'm going to do some flowers on this one. I've been messing around with kind of a couple different sort of flower paintings, so I'm squirting some of the colors I want to use onto this. Actually, I'm using an old primed painting as a palette here. I'm one of these painters. I'm not very organized. I like to think of kind of my painting as coming, I don't know, out of the mud or something. So I tend to have like palettes, and you all know this from my watercolor, I tend to have palettes that are just kind of a big mess. And I just keep using them, grubbing the paint around, grubbing the medium around, not being too intentional about it, and hoping for all kinds of beautiful accidents to happen. That's just the way I do it. I get some brushes. For this painting, I'm just picking out a bunch of different brushes here that I'll kind of use. Some are for kind of massing color around. Others are for, ooh, it's like gross, whatever's in there. In this container, I have a combination about 25% Gamblin media, Gamblin Galkyd gel, not Galkyd gel. It's it's this stuff. Hang on, this stuff, Galkyd Light. It's a medium, painting medium. Oh, that stuff is kind of goopy. I think it'll still work. And then mineral spirits. Yeah, it's okay. About 25% mineral spirits, and then this stuff. It just gives the paint a kind of a feel that I like. And then I've also been messing around with this stuff called Galkyd gel, which is just like a gel medium that adds a bit of thickness to the paint, impasto. Okay, I don't like this. I'm gonna remix some of this. This stuff sets up after a while, and I haven't used this as quickly as I want to, so it's kind of congealing inside that container. So I'm gonna go straight to this and pour a bit of this into my cup. And then add a bit of mineral spirits to that. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's under my rag. Right here. Okay. I'm just going to plop a little bit of this in there. You know, not much because I just want to thin it down a little bit. Put this on the floor. So I'm painting this painting on a horizontal surface. It gives it just different look. Like I said, I want to do some flowers, so I'm just going to throw some medium down on this. I need some yellow. Oh man, I forgot how I was going to start this. I was going to start with the blue. God dang it. Okay. I got this really nice blue in it. Dang it. Well, let's just adapt. It's okay. It's cool. I got this nice blue. It's called a King's Blue, and I was going to throw this on across as a kind of a back color. But I'm just going to throw it in now. So you got to adapt, right? You can't be afraid to let things run into one another. Remember what I talk about when I say, you know, I've mentioned before to a lot of you that there are no such things as edges to things. And I really believe that. There are no edges. We're sort of forced to see the edges of things because we want to identify objects, so we're always kind of trained to see objects. But I would challenge that idea. Let me get a big old brush. Especially when it comes to painting, you want to paint the connectedness of everything, how everything's connected. So this is what I've been doing a lot, especially with these panel paintings, because I like the results. I use this like big fat brush, and you could just go get a house painting brush. You don't have to have one of these. And you know, I've talked to you about doing this before. And after each stroke, I wipe it a bit, or I rotate it. Why is that brush there? It's irritating. So what you don't see is in front of me, I've got a still life of flowers that I'm just kind of using as a slight source of subject. I'm thinking more of this as a garden painting, like it's outside, versus you know, a still life inside. But I'm still using the trying this brush because it's an artificial brush. It's not a natural bristle, and it's got kind of an edge to it that I want to take advantage of. I don't like that. Well, it's okay. Where's I'm looking for not that brush. Okay. hit it with the big brush again. I'm gonna hit it really aggressively. I forgot to mention that this is I'm demonstrating very much what's called a wet into wet technique. So I'm working very loose on a fairly wet ground, meaning there's lots of medium kind of pushed around on top of this thing, meaning that this stuff and that stuff, and then the paint to kind of, I'm working very wet marks into wet marks. And I have no idea what I'm making here, other than kind of a mess. It's sort of coming together. And this is, you know, it's a really good technique for working horizontally like this because everything kind of sits. So it's kind of like a watercolor too. So one of the things I've been trying to do with my painting is bring a little bit more of the watercolor feel into the work. Where'd my blue go? Oh, there it is. Well, then there's this really nice turquoise here too I want to use. So anyway, a little bit more of the watercolor feel to my work, to my oil painting. And honestly, ever since I did that big painting last year, I've done a few paintings, but I just haven't done that many paintings. I've been working on that stupid commission. Well, it's not stupid, but commissions are always difficult because, well, they just are. So I'm almost done with it. Remember, every painting is a different story, right? Don't forget that. You can't predict what your painting's going to be. You can sort of set into motion hopeful outcomes, right? to make a really interesting painting, you have to really just kind of go with it, right? You got, and that sounds dumb. It's like that whole being loose thing. I hate being loose. But a painting requires a kind of a letting go of preconceptions. And that's why I like having my palette. I think that's why I like having my palette all kind of funky like this, because, you know, I kind of grub it all around in interesting ways, and I get different combinations that are interesting, combinations of color. It's unusual. I haven't used white yet in this one. Okay, that's all I'm going to do now. This video is already pretty long, so there it is. I'm going to let that sit for a bit before I mess around with it some more.